Alright, here we go with the first batch of material. So things to keep in mind to do every time you practice. So you're going to be tapping your foot along with the metronome. When you play, you're going to say what it is that you're playing. Try your best to be able to say it up to the 120 beats a minute top speed goal. Bare minimum, definitely be able to say it as you play it at the 60 beats a minute. And so you're already doing this, but I'll just say it anyway, just to cover all the bases of what we want to do. So just keep the hand and the foot locked in the same direction the whole time. So every time the foot goes down, the hand goes down. Foot comes up, the hand comes up. In other words, every time you are playing on a down beat, you're going to strum down. And every time you're playing on an upbeat, you will strum up. So the goal here is to go no further than 120 beats a minute, just to make sure that you don't get too fast and are no longer able to hear the metronome properly. So when you're working these things up, the best thing to do is go up by 5 beat per minute increments every time you play something correctly. So we got 3 things here, and I've talked about, and I always will, at least 20 minutes of practice time each day. And so you can't really divide 20 by 3 too well, but just get it pretty close, like maybe about 7 minutes a piece, if you want to do everything evenly, and just kind of see how far you get within that time frame. So there's no rush in getting up to 120 right away. So when I'm working on speed stuff, when I'm trying to get faster and work on very difficult things, then I'm always going from 60, 65, 70, 75, and up to however fast I'm trying to get. Sometimes I will go slower than that. I'll go up by 1 beat per minute increments if something proves to be extremely difficult and is just whooping my butt. With that being said, what you're doing is not really pushing your speed, but it's just getting you used to playing and feeling these rhythms at a slow pace and kind of a medium pace. 120 is not really considered too fast when it comes to strumming 8th note stuff. It's a decent pace, but we'll be getting to much faster stuff eventually. So let's say, just again for the sake of trying to be efficient in how you practice, so let's say you get up to like 100 beats a minute the first day, and maybe it was a bit of a struggle, and it took several attempts of playing stuff to get there. But you probably should start going up by 5 beat per minute increments the next day as well. But let's say on like day 3 or 4 you got to 120, or you got to 100 or 120, and it felt a bit easier. Well, then you can start thinking about maintaining, or like doing little maintenance speeds. So the bare minimum maintenance speeds I recommend for this stuff is every day, once you can get it up to 120, is play everything at least one time through, well, with the repeat as well, but do it at 60 beats a minute, 80, 100, and 120. Another option could be, you could go 60, and again, this is after you've already got it to 120 and you're ready to do a more maintenance thing. So they say you go to 60, and then maybe up to 80, and then 90, then 100, and then 105, 110, 115, 120. Things like that. Those are some options to try out as the week gets later. So there will be a fair amount of experimenting on your part to see how well you can manage the time evenly throughout everything. And of course, if one particular rhythm exercise proves more challenging than another, probably best to spend a little extra time on that one. Basically prioritize the more difficult stuff first, and then save the easy stuff for after. But if you ever have any questions, if you'd like any suggestions on what to do, just let me know. I'm here to help you. But for this video, I will demonstrate these at do 60 and 120, but I also do like midway. I'll do like 60, 90, and 120. And this way you can just use this video as a reference for how things should look, how things should sound, etc. Trying to think if there's anything else to cover or to recover from last night, but I think that's about it right now. So here we go. Number 1, 60 beats a minute. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and done. I did just remember something else we talked about, which is actually getting covered in number 3. It's thinking about moving to the new chord, like basically at the last possible second. So instead of sliding your hand down to the next chord too soon, you're going to wait until you hit the downstroke and sync those two up as close as you can. All right, up to 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and done. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and done. Right on to number 2, where we have upbeat, up strum focus. Right, here we go, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 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 4, done. 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 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 4, done. Guess that's one thing I didn't talk about. I usually just hit the last chord of these things and say done instead of letting it ring out all 4 beats. Just put it in, the last chord in as a whole note, because we've got to fill up the bar. So don't need to let that last chord ring out all 4 counts. Anyway, here we go. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, and 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 4, done. And on to the last one. Okay. So everything's going to be going pick, slide, pick, slide, pick, slide, pick, slide. So you just want to make sure you wait to slide over to the next chord when the metronome clicks. So you don't want to have any slow slides. You gotta be quick. Here we go at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here comes 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. All right. I believe that covers everything. But if any questions come up, please let me know. And I did see you emailed about next week, so I'll be responding to that in just a moment. But I'll see you sometime next week.